Hi Capricorn, welcome to your May 2022 astrological forecast. So, planets are still in a fellow Earth sign, Taurus. The Sun is in Taurus up until the 20th. Mercury starts off in Gemini and retrogrades on the 10th and actually falls back into Taurus again on the 22nd. And Venus moves into Taurus on the 28th. So where you have Taurus is your fifth house of romance. Okay, so when planets are in fellow Earth signs, they create an aspect called a trine. It's a 120-degree angle to your Earth planets and Earth, right? So it's a very pleasant time. Things go like smoother for you when planets are in, like, Virgo or Taurus. Okay, so anyways, you still have the planet Uranus here in your fifth house. So as long as this planet's here, wherever it transits, there's going to be like unpredictability in your relationships. Let's say, like, for romance. Fifth house is also the house of creativity. So if you're involved in any kind of group collaboration, or even just something with another person that's creative, a creative project. This is also the house of children. So if you have children, surprising things could like happen with them or to them. This is the house of sports and entertainment and games. So you could decide to take up anything, this is the house of gambling and speculation, so you may be hitting the casinos, which is kind of odd for a Earth sign. Earth signs don't spend like big money. They're like kind of like tightwads. So, but having this planet here though, just makes things a little bit different. Usually, as far as romance goes, you see someone younger or older than yourself, or someone completely like unlike any other person you've like dated. You're attracted to like different kinds of music now, different kinds of art, something that's a little bit esoteric or kind of underground. Okay, so having the Sun here obviously turns your attention towards like romance. Okay, it'll really heat up on from the 28th on when Venus moves here, but for now, you're just maybe not even romance. Maybe it's just to have fun. You're out to have fun. The month does start off with Mercury. Okay, Mercury in Gemini, and then it turns retrograde on the 10th and falls back into Taurus on like the 22nd, right? So where you have Gemini in your chart is your sixth house. Okay, this is the house of your work, the kind of work that you do, your co-workers, the workplace, your work schedule. It's also your house of health and house of service, also small pets. Okay, so when Mercury was first like direct in Taurus, okay, in your fifth house, you may have had some kind of conversation with like a romantic partner or a creative partner, some kind of, again, collaboration or something like that. Okay, so then Mercury moved into your sixth house of like work. So if it is like a creative project, maybe you are working on something or other. Okay, but when it retrogrades back into your fifth house, whatever kind of conversation that you may have had with, like, let's say a romantic partner or even a child, you know what I mean? It'll come back into review, kind of. You could find out that even though Mercury was direct, you missed a lot of high points that you really wanted to put in there into your conversation. If this was a fairly important conversation, some kind of communication that you had, let's say like last month, that is revisited for some reason or other, you could elaborate on it more by bringing the subject up again, or again, just figure out, it's like reviewing. It's a time to review. Okay, but with these planets in your sixth house where you have Gemini, okay, and this being your work schedule and everything. The sun will move into Gemini on the 20th, so you'll have the sun and Mercury here, and there's a new moon here on the 30th, which will bring a new beginning in the kind of work that you do. Maybe you have like branched out in one way or other. You have Saturn in your second house of earned income, which has limited your ability in a way to bring in extra income or an income period. You know what I mean? Some of you could have ended up on unemployment, and it could be due to the pandemic, but it's like an ongoing thing. It's not really going away, you know, so you've had to look for other kinds of work, and that's what this is. This is giving you more opportunities to do like just that. So something, let's say like a job that you applied for, you know, previously, whenever, okay, since excuse me, since you have maybe not been working, okay, and you didn't get that job, they could contact you now when Mercury turns retrograde from the 10th on, okay, could contact you to see if you're still interested in the job, or a previous employer could get a hold of you. Maybe they actually need you back where you used to work. You know, that's not saying, you know, you still want to work there or not, but the offer could like really, I don't know, that it could be, things could be better this time around. You know what I mean? Like when you worked there, maybe it was kind of crappy, but you know, again, due to the pandemic, a lot of things have changed, and employers have had to offer a lot more flexibility, not to mention better wages, okay? The month does start off, though, with Mars still in Pisces in your third house where you have the sign of Pisces. Okay, so Mars is here up until the 24th, and Jupiter is still in Pisces up until the 10th. Then these planets will be moving into Aries, into your fourth house. But for now, the month starts off with still planets in your third house, along with Neptune is still in Pisces. And so your third house is your everyday life, your immediate area, like your neighborhood. It's the people you would normally encounter throughout the normal course of your day, that you would interact with, like your neighbors, or you know, people in a store that you frequent or something like that. This is also big travel and communication house. This is the written word, spoken word though also. This is a time where you might actually write something though. That's like fairly important. You know, while Jupiter was here, this is also an internet house, okay? Any kind of communication that you have had since Jupiter has been here has been like really informative, or you learned a lot more than you thought you would. This should have brought like possibly a new neighbor into your neighborhood that made the place better for some reason or other. It was like a good thing that this person moved near you, because they, I don't know, they did a lot of good for you, at least. You know, maybe you befriended a neighbor, and you know that just like continues. But with Mars here and Jupiter also, you know, Venus. Let me see here. Well, we'll get to that in a minute. Anyways, you may have tried to do some kind of traveling, like local travel is third house, like weekend, or a day trip even, or an overnight trip or something like that. Maybe you weren't able to. Having Mars in your third house is almost like having Mercury here, kind of, in a way, because you're like very busy going about your own area, your own neighborhood. You're trying to get something done. You know what I mean? If you were trying to make some kind of changes, even to your property or a business possibly there, you are like kind of able to get the support of your neighbors, or whomever it is in your neighborhood that represents, is like your state representative or whatever. So if there was something you were trying to change, I'd have to say that you're doing that right now. But it's for the betterment of everybody, not just you. And you could have like an increase in regular postal mail, but a lot of conversations though too you could be having with just about anybody. But it could be a chance meeting with someone in your area or in your neighborhood when you're going about, um, like your everyday whatever that leads to some kind of good luck, or being in the right place at the right time. In fact, if there's any kind of like local contest going on in your area, a lot of times car dealerships have contests. I would enter it if I were you. Okay. Now, the Mars moves into Aries on the 24th, and Venus actually starts off in Aries on the 2nd. And then Jupiter moves into Aries on the 10th. So this is like a really nice combination of these three planets together. Mars, Jupiter, and Venus. These are all like very fortunate planets to have traveling together just very briefly. Okay. There'll be like a couple days in there, but your fourth house is your personal life, your home life, your family. It's where you physically live and the property surrounding it. It's who you live with, if it's a roommate or family, or even if you like live by yourself, whatever. It's the past. It's your childhood. Okay. So having Jupiter here, I did do a video on Jupiter in Aries, so you might want to listen to that. I also did one on Mercury retrograde, so there's a link also in the description box below to that, so you might want to listen to that video also. But having Jupiter in your fourth house, this is where your luck will be this year, and it starts off right away, like I said, with these three planets in Aries. All of them very beneficial. So, if you were looking for a new home or looking to move to a new apartment or someplace like that, it would be like a very, like you could be in the right place at the right time. Maybe you wanted to live in a certain area, but you weren't able to find any openings there. Nothing for sale or nothing to rent. So maybe something like that could actually come up. Or you could even get like a new home, move to a new home. Or someone could come and live with you. This could be like a roommate, or someone that is possibly renting from you, subletting or something or other. So you could use your property as income in some way. You may decide to do something like that, but people from your past also could start coming around, especially when like all these planets were in your third house of like local area people, whatever. This is like not just siblings and cousins. This is the house of classmates. Okay, your third house. So maybe you've been in touch with at least one of them, and now they're like in your life again. You know what I mean? Like if you used to hang out with them when you went to school, all of a sudden you're hanging out with them again. But this is good fortune in your family life. You could find that your property, it may be worth more now, more valuable. Maybe you've upgraded it in some way, or you're about to do something like that. And your personal life is, like really, really nice at this time. But having like Mars here in your fourth house, it's being very energetic. And like wanting to change or do things or whatever. This is the time where you would do something big, like remodel, like we're talking knocking down walls and stuff like that, or building an extra room onto your home, something like that. Okay, so I do have to mention there is a full moon lunar eclipse on the 16th in the sign of Scorpio. And where you have Scorpio in your chart is your 11th house. It's directly across from your 5th house of Taurus. Okay, so because there's a lunar eclipse at the same time as the full moon, the effects of this full moon will last a lot longer than it normally would. So your 11th house is your house of friends, acquaintances. It's where you would normally go to hang out. It's any kind of organization that you belong to. So I would have to say it's directly across from your fifth house of fun and romance and entertainment, okay? So something might go down with one of your friends at this time, and it could be in regards to possibly someone that you're dating. They may have something to say about whoever it is, like your love life. Like it's really their business, right? But they, you know how people are. They always have to put in their 2 cents or stick their nose where it doesn't belong, and that's a time where someone might do something like that right now. Or if you're involved in anything creative, okay, even with another person, but whatever it is, someone could be like critiquing you at this time and kind of like picking you apart for whatever reason, more than likely because they can't do what you do, right? So, you know what they say about critics. It's not like a very big deal, but I just believe that something like that, that the 11th house is also a house of social media. So this could even happen like online, when you're on posting, somebody could post something that is just kind of obnoxious, right? But back to this new moon, though. The new moon on the 30th in your 6th house might bring a new job or an increase somewhere, like in work, okay? So the best time to do something each month is when the moon is in your own sign, and the moon is in Capricorn on the 18th, 19th, and 20th. And the best time to lay low is when the moon is in your opposite sign, and your opposite sign is Cancer, and those dates are the 4th, 5th, and 6th. The best time for romance, creativity, fun, any kind of speculation or gambling, and anything to do with children is the 1st, 14th, 15th, 16th, 27th, 28th, and 29th. The best time for money is the 7th, 8th, 9th, 20th, 21st, and 22nd. The best time for your career is the 12th and 13th. And the best time for communication and travel is the 9th, 10th, 11th, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. So, be sure to check out my weekly forecasts, and if you're new to my channel and you like this video, please comment below and like and share it, and don't forget to subscribe and click on the notification bell, and you'll be notified each time I upload something. Okay, so I will see you next week. Goodbye.